We're going to start the meeting. This is for the Historic Review Commission. Today is Monday, August 4th, 2025. I'll start out with the roll call. Dave Brennan, I'm here. Secretary Melinda Meyer. Commissioner Jean Craig Pepper. Here. Commissioner Mark Tannenbaum. Here. And then ex officio members, Director Snippert is here. Director Spry, Assistant Planner Cooper Moore, and of course Matthew is here for the Planning Director, Matthew Falcone. First item we have on the agenda is the public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment? Please step up to the speaker. Seeing none, Matt, is there anyone that has emailed in or is speaking online?
Yes, we did receive a piece of correspondence from Tom Clem, who I believe has joined us in the audience today as well, and asked that his letter be read into the record. I am a lifelong member of St. Andrew Church. For the past 10 years, I have served as the Grand Knight for the Knights of Columbus. St. Andrew has a beautiful, life-size Fatima shrine outside the church. The architect who designed St. Andrew, William Peter Ginther, also designed Erie's St. Anne Church and St. Patrick Church. In 2021, we celebrated the 150th anniversary of St. Andrew Parish. I'd like to loan you a copy of the booklet we published. I can come back and pick it up next month. Also in 2021, the St. Andrew Knights of Columbus and Ladies Guild and others from St. Andrews formed a Forward in Faith committee to revitalize our church. I am a member of Forward in Faith. I'd like to give you a copy of the recent Erie Reader story about St. Andrew. One of the issues raised in the essay is the troubling delay in the review of the nomination to the Historic Review Commission of the St. Andrew School, Garage, Rectory, Shrine, and Church. Another Forward in Faith member, Lisa Austin, submitted a nomination to Miss Heather Olson in October 2024 for your review and vote on November 4th, 2024. Ms. Olson was very encouraging about the subject and even toured St. Andrew to assist in the submission process. Though Olson explained to Austin that it was not necessary to get the support of the owners of St. Andrew, Austin informed the St. Andrew pastor about Olson's visit and gave him a copy of the nomination to share with the bishop. Soon after, Ms. Olson contacted Austin to report that she was changing the November HRC meeting agenda. The November HRC meeting agenda. Olson said that she was changing the St. Andrew nomination from a discussion and vote to discussion only. Because of a phone call she received from I apologize, that diocesan lawyer. Because of Olson's change, the Forward in Faith Committee decided to withdraw the nomination until we could assemble a group to attend the December 2nd HRC meeting. Austin withdrew and resubmitted the nomination on October 31st. The next day, Austin and I delivered another hard copy to City Hall. 3 days later, the HRC voted to suspend nominations. We, the Forward in Faith Committee, are waiting to have you review our nomination of St. Andrew. Thanks so much. And I do believe that we have Tom with us today. If you'd like to step to the podium, introduce yourself, your address, and comment.
Hello, my name is Tom Clem. I live at 1834 East 34th Street. I'm a lifetime member of St. Andrew's Church, and I've been in Erie my whole life. I just think that the campus speaks for itself. If you go there and take a look, the architecture, the building, it's just so beautiful. And where it is, too, I think is very significant. That's really all I have. I'd encourage you to come down and take a look and get a good look at it. If you want to have a look through, we could do that for sure. And I have the booklets for our 150 and the Erie Reader here. So we could pick these up at another time. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for being here, for putting forth the letter to further explain the actions that have gone back and forth. We're definitely interested to learn more about it, and I would definitely love to have a tour at some point in the near future. And we'll look at the information. Matthew, is there one book there or several? Maybe we could kind of take a turn looking at it, or?
There's several.
Several, okay.
Thank you.
So again, thank you so much, and we appreciate you being here today. It's always good to see someone here that really cares about what they've supported for so many years and wants to continue to keep it in the right hands, and you know, noted for its architecture and its how well it's kept up. So, thank you. Okay, Matthews, any other letters or correspondence?
Nope.
No. Good. Okay. Great. We'll move on to the approval of the past meeting minutes and the certificate of appropriateness report for the regular meeting that we had on June 2nd. Did we receive those meeting minutes? Did everybody get a chance to review those? Is there any questions, problems, issues with the way they're released?
The only recommendation I would have is to make sure that at the bottom it's included that the minutes were prepared by Commissioner Mark Tannenbaum in partnership with Matthew Capone, Historic Preservation Planner, in absence of the Secretary.
Great, thank you for that, Melinda. So we can do that, Matthew?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as amended with this notation of the author of the meeting minutes? Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, thank you, Mr. Tannenbaum. Those in favor, say aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, the vote passes to approve the meeting minutes. Okay. I'll keep moving forward here. The certificate of appropriateness, there's no new COAs currently today. Any other discussion, Matthew? Anything else? There's not really nothing to talk about currently for that item.
No.
Public correspondence, we've kind of already reviewed that. So that was part of the earlier discussion with the public comment. So we have reviewed that already. Next item is old business, the zoning ordinance amendments, Article 7, historic resources protection. We need to talk about this, Matthew? Is there any other items we want to talk about, or just generally on there for discussion?
Actually, not for discussion, but an update. It's my pleasure to inform you that City Council has passed the amendments to Article 7, and those will go into place 20 days after Council's approval, so later this month. Well, it's the end of a very long process, I know, that all of you were very involved in. And so we are very fortunate that within this month, we'll have all those changes that were in the amendments in place.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
That's huge. That's the first time ever in the history here, ever.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I can say that it was a very long process and that it was very much informed by the past several years of the Commission's work. And I know that we were very dedicated in ensuring that there was more transparency through all of the Historic Review Commission's processes, and that we were able to take into consideration feedback that we had gotten from the public as well. So I think it's a much stronger Article 7 that we have now.
Yeah, great, thank you.
I'm afraid I wasn't there to watch the procedure at City Council. Did City Council have any major questions or concerns? Did they bring anything to the conversation or did they just pass it?
Good question. Before I answer,
Yeah.
I was just
Go
reminded
ahead.
to remind all of you that when you speak, you must have your microphones on.
Yes.
Ensure the green light is illuminated. Council did ask lots of questions about the amendments. Most of them were exploring kind of what brought us to those changes and understanding some of the experiences that we've had and also some of the best practices and examples from other cities that we've leveraged. They were also very keen to ensure that there is equity in the process.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? They were all set to go? Okay, next item on the agenda is the citywide historic resource survey. And then there's an update, Matthew, on that, the survey work?
There is. We are in receipt of the completed work as of this past Friday. So all the survey results, as we mentioned in our last meeting, are being uploaded into PA Share, and we're starting to see some of that on our end as well. But the survey is complete, and all of the information should be uploaded by the end of this month. I'm sorry, end of September.
Where is it uploaded on our site?
So it won't be accessible on the city's website, but it will be accessible on PA Share, which is the state website that PHMC uses.
Okay.
We're able to link to that so that if people are looking for the information on the city's website, it'll redirect them to the states.
And can anybody access that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You just have to find out how, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
we also, we anticipate leveraging some of the data that's been entered and to be able to make maps and share some of the findings that will be directly available on our website and help talk about the survey, its results, and direct people back to PA Share.
Is there like a printed version of it somewhere?
Be a big print, so, a lot of
Huh?
information.
Yeah, it isn't concise enough to print. There is an Excel spreadsheet that it would be a scroll that went on for miles with the information that's in it. I think that we're looking to have an executive summary to present to all of you and to make publicly available once the data has been finally entered in September.
Does it list each property?
Yeah, it will list each property. I believe that there is they've photo documented all the properties as well, and they also will make suggestions about which properties they think might be eligible to be listed on the National Register.
Matthew, is that typical that it goes to the PA Shares? Like other cities, like other Lancaster, they're doing the same thing. They do the same thing, and that's how the power of PA Shares, that it all comes together?
Exactly that.
Okay, great. Any other comments or questions about the resource survey? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to the next item, which is the State Street National Register Historic District Update.
And good news there as well. So in working with partnership with our friends downtown, the final copy of the RFP we were able to review just last week and provide edits and comments. They're anticipating having that distributed within the next week to 2 weeks. So there's forward motion.
Okay. Just curious, when would that be? Is it probably a 30-day turnaround, and would they begin immediately? The funding's already there?
Yes, so the funding is in place. It would be about a 30-day turnaround. They have a steering committee that's put together that would review all applications for the RFP, make a selection, and then set up a time frame based on what the contractors have proposed.
Okay, great, thank you. Any other questions, comments for the survey?
What's the length of State Street? Like, where does it start and where does it stop?
Good question. Well, definitely starts at the lake. No, I'm
Yes.
kidding.
Okay.
So we left the language that's in the RFP a bit open. So it would be up to the contractor to identify the boundaries of a prospective historic district and come up with a reasoning and argument to support that. So we did ask that all of Lower State Street be included, but we made it very clear that the district should expand to, at the very least, 12th Street, but that it needs to be justified by whatever argument and whatever research the consultant could make. So it's a bit flexible
So
at the
Packer
moment.
wouldn't be-
I think as we get into the process and they are able to start formulating an argument and conducting research, we'll have a better understanding of the precise boundaries, and be sure to include that in our public informational session before any of the nominations are submitted.
Does it have to be contiguous?
Yes. The only way that we could do something that would be non-contiguous is that if it was a multi-property listing that had a theme. In this case, the argument for Lower State Street was that based on commerce and civics. And so all the parcels then would need to be contiguous, either around State Street. It has the ability to expand east or west as well as south.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, move on to the next item here. The Certified Local Government Project Grant RFP.
Yes, and thank you for being gracious about that at our last meeting. So we, as I said then, were awarded $13,000 from the Pennsylvania Historical Museum Commission as part of a CLG program. It's a mini grant, and that mini grant was to hire a consultant to be able to put together a National Register nomination for City Hall. So City Hall is currently eligible to be listed on the National Register of Historic Places. As part of the CLG program, it very much focuses on the importance of civic sites. We felt like it was best to be able to lead as the city by looking at this, which is the city's flagship resource, and pursue a listing of the building on the National Register. I think to go back a step about what we were discussing with State Street, it is also listed as a contributing element to a larger historic district, but due to the character, the size, the design of City Hall, it is fundamentally different aspect and fundamentally different resource than what you would see down and up State Street. So because of that and the high degree of historic integrity on the interior of the building, it made for a very good candidate. So we issued an RFP more than a week ago at this point, with a closing date of this Friday, and have received several inquiries from consultants that are interested in working on the project with us. So it's a relatively tight time frame in the beginning. We have a hard milestone that's given to us by PHMC, that the first iteration and first draft be given to us and to PHMC by the end of September. And then we have a bit more flexibility on the back end of that. So we'd be looking to the consultant in order to craft proposed deadlines for the final submission, hopefully within the beginning of 2026.
Okay, any other questions regarding that?
Do we have a consultant in mind, or are we going to put out a request for proposal, or what?
We did put out a request for proposal. So no, we have no specific consultant in mind. As I said, there have been several different consultants that have reached out, expressing interest, asking questions about the process, that sort of thing. So at the conclusion of the RFP period, which will be this Friday, we'll sit back and have a look at all the different applications and consultants and select someone to go forward.
Is anyone local?
Good question. We have not received any applications or any proposals from local applicants. I think the ones that we have expressed interest have been from Cleveland and Pittsburgh so far.
Okay.
Okay. Move on to the next item, the fee structure. There's an update to the fee structure that we discussed in the last meeting.
We did. There is now a resolution before City Council that will be considered this Wednesday morning that establishes a fee structure for our program, and that will ensure that there is applicable fees for a certificate of appropriateness applications as well as landmark applications.
Okay. And Matthew, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but the fees aren't necessarily reflective of the time it takes to do this. It's really just typically what other cities are doing. We're trying to make it as enticing as possible. Does that sound about correct or close?
There's a lot of different considerations that went into the fee structure.
Yeah.
But first and foremost is that, yes, we wanted to make it accessible and affordable for all. We also took in mind the administrative fees that come with some of the different applications, specifically nominations. The creation of historic districts has a baseline fee, and the districts are looked at by size. And the thought process there was hosting public meetings and ensuring that proper notification goes out for all owners of properties within that district, because they've encapsulated in that. By the same measure, we took into consideration hiring a court stenographer for nominations that may be contentious, those that perhaps go against the wishes of the owner. The thought process behind that is that there's a likelihood of things becoming contentious and perhaps it becoming legally contentious. And so in that way, in having a court stenographer record all of our proceedings, that both the city, the applicant, prospective owner, the owner would all have access to stenographically recorded information about each of the proceedings. So to answer your question a bit more concisely, lots of different factors went into consideration with the fee structure. And as we discussed before, the fees for some of the applications, like the certificate of appropriateness, there are none. So for homeowners that are interested in making changes in their property, if they are following guidelines for historic buildings, there are no fees. It's more of a notification process. If things require a full commission hearing, that is to say, if an applicant is derivating from the historic guidelines, it would require commission's consideration. Therefore, there's an applicable fee that goes with that as well. So we took into consideration the City of Erie's current fees for zoning and other permits, as well as taking into consideration comparably sized cities and what they charge as well. So it was a very comprehensive process.
Yeah, okay. And that's the first, that's on next council meeting?
Yes.
That's on the agenda, okay. Okay. Next item is the vacant commissioner seat. And I think last time there was some discussion about, looking at other, certain individuals to fill certain roles that we would need on the board. And Matthew, I think you have some type of update on that?
I do. We have with us a new ex officio commissioner who I would like to welcome. So we have in the audience with us the executive director for race, Aaron Snippert, and he is replacing the previous iteration of Article 7, where we had a member from Planning Commission joining us. So he's here as an ex officio. We still have 3 vacancies on our commission. We did have to explore exactly which one of those vacancies mapped to City Council and to the mayor's office, because there's a delineation in the ordinance, and also get a firmer understanding of how each of those processes work, because they're not quite the same. So for members of City Council who wish to do an appointment, they'll first need to send in a CV or resume to me to verify that they have the professional background and experience that's notified or that's listed in Article 7. The mayor's application process is entirely digital, so they would submit an application through, and I'm blanking on the name.
Whose name?
City Works, City Grows, thank you. And then that application would go to the mayor's office for consideration.
I'm sorry, Matthew, did you say that there is somebody, there is a candidate already from the mayor's office? Is that what you said?
No, we do not have candidates for any of the 3 open seats as of yet.
We just have 3.
You have 3 open seats, right?
Right, okay. And no one's been suggested yet?
No, the course of this past month was very much focused on ironing out each of the processes by council and by the mayor's office. So the mayor's office, the process is open. Anyone can apply at this point through City Grows. And for the folks that need to be appointed by council, they would need to first send a resume to me as the historic preservation planner. I can forward it to council.
And so council has how many appointments? 2 and the mayor 1, or?
Council
how-
has 1 appointment, and the mayor has 1 new appointment, and then 1 appointment to backfill.
Uh-huh. And then council's the rest?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
And those are advertised on the city's website? Is the word out currently?
That's also a good question. The word is not officially out yet, no. We are looking to craft an announcement that would go out either later this week or early next week, asking for applicants. If any of you know of folks who would be a good fit, please send them my way, and I can help them navigate these processes.
Do we have, I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, is there something that you could send us so we can kind of sculpt it to?
Yeah, are there specific skill sets that we're looking for? Because I thought that's what we talked about.
Yes, very much so.
Don't we want another architect?
We do need another architect or architectural professional, someone who has at least 5 years of experience. We do need another person who's engaged either in historic preservation, history, art history, landscape design, and then we also need 1 other person who has experience either with real estate or with economic development.
Real estate or what?
Economic development?
Oh, uh-huh, okay.
Okay. So you could forward that then to us?
I will. I'll craft some language to,
Okay.
for all of you to send and some information about how they can start the process.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to that being advertised in the future.
They do not have to be City of Erie residents, or do they?
They do.
They do.
Okay.
Well, that makes it hard.
We need to start soliciting people.
Okay. Any other questions? We'll keep moving forward. Seeing none, we'll move to the next item, which was the NAPC camp, and I know that's already set on our calendar. What day is it in September?
26th,
September 26th?
it's a Friday.
That's correct.
So that's all set, and that's going to be on, remind me, is that on Teams or is that on in person?
No, that will be in person. So
Okay.
we are now working to identify a location and set out invitations.
Yes.
What I've shared with you on the screen are the different topics that will be covered. There are 4 in total. One is on preservation incentives and benefits, another on identifying and designating historic resources, another for enforcement in violations, and another for resources of the recent past. So with each of those sessions, you are invited to them all. We will also be extending invitations to our other commissions and committees to attend for ones that are applicable to other areas of city government, like enforcement and violations. We'll be extending, of course, to staff that work in enforcement and violations. And then it's our hope that the last one, resources of the recent past, will be able to open up to the public.
Okay. So is it going to be in this room then, Matthew?
We are aspiring for that, but
Because it says 9 to 4 in the meeting notice here.
right. So we might have to look to other spaces, but this is our primary choice.
Okay. Okay, any other questions about the camp? Anyone? Nope, okay. Next item was the HRC bylaws, initial updates, proposed amendments.
So for all of you, I had sent around a revision to the HRC bylaws, rules, and procedures. As we discussed at our last meeting, you would like me to have taken the initiative on that. So what you have in front of you is a revision to our, what I'm now calling rules and procedures that very much focuses on how we conduct business here in this setting. So I did remove some of the language that was beyond the HRC's ability to control. So most of the language that's embodied in Article 7 was taken out of the bylaws, rules, and procedures, and it now focuses very much on rules and procedures. And so everything that is in front of you is reflective of the changes that happened into Article 7. But I very much defer to all of you. If you have any questions about the proposed draft in front of you, or if there's anything in particular you wanted to walk through.
Any questions? Anything want to walk through for the group?
I don't have.
I don't have it.
I don't have the draft.
You said you gave it to us in the email, Matthew?
Oh, I should have printed it out.
Yeah.
I didn't print the
I did.
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. That's all right. So again, because it requires at least 10 days notice to make any sort of changes to this process, there's no pressure and also no ability for all of you to act today. I can resend the draft to all of you and make sure you also get a printed copy if you prefer. And then we can look towards our September 8th hearing as kind of the opportunity to adopt and ratify. What I would need from you, I propose and put on screen, because there is formal notification that's needed. The motion before you would satiate that.
Formal notification.
Yes, exactly. Enabling you to then act on it at our next meeting.
So we should vote on that.
Yes.
Did you send that with the meeting minutes?
I believe it was a separate email from the meeting minutes.
Okay. But you'll resend it, because obviously
I will.
we're confused. Okay.
I know, I apologize. There were lots of different emails this week for lots of different things. Or not this week, this past month, but I will ensure that all of you get a hard copy as well to review.
Okay, and we could review it and hopefully discuss it next meeting if there's any questions.
Are there a great deal of changes? Is it a lot different?
Not in particular. There's a lot of added language on procedure.
Because of Article 7
Because of Article 7 and because there were also some other areas that needed strengthening.
that we've talked about.
Exactly. So now there's language that addresses conflict of interest and what to do in those circumstances.
Okay.
There's also language about briefings, which is something that we did not have before. If somebody wishes to brief the commission on a project, it's a bit different action than a formal application, and so it expands on what that looks like and what the responsibilities are. But all in all, it was
basically the same document.
Yes, like
So-
we're starting
so
out for
you-
very strong rules and procedures.
You want us to review it, and if we have any changes we want to make, let you know about it beforehand?
Yes.
And then we have the vote.
And then we would have the vote on
Next meeting.
next meeting?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
But I would ask that we satiate that formal requirement, and if the commission is interested and willing to move forward on the proposed language in front of you.
I would move to adopt that resolution, or motion.
Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Okay. If we're going to have a vote, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes for the bylaws proposed motion.
Thank you.
Okay. That's the old business. We'll move on to new business. And the first two items are the historic nominations and a certificate of appropriateness. Of course, there are none. But for landmark application process, it was noted discussion and action. So Matthew, you want to review that?
Indeed. We are, as we mentioned earlier at this hearing, at the end of a very long process of revisions. So that the Article 7 amendments are adopted by council and very much in place, and the resolution for our schedule of fees is before City Council for this Wednesday. We have all the different components that we need to reopen the landmarking process. In that we would have fees for the program, and that we also have very clear guidance on how applications would work, the processes by which they would be reviewed. And so I would ask all of you to consider lifting the moratorium on accepting new nominations with the contingency that we tie it to council's affirmative adoption of the schedule of fees for this Wednesday.
Oof. That's
Indeed.
a big step.
It is a very big step. I fully understand all the complexities that came into being when the commission voted to issue a moratorium on accepting new nominations. And although I think it was very painful, it was very necessary. And we've taken this time really to ensure that all steps of the process are clear and transparent, both for commissioners and for the public. If you've been on our website recently, you'll see lots of different updated forms, as well as frequently asked questions that can be answered, and soon to be published the schedule of fees as well. So we are in a much better place than we were 8-9 months ago. And it's inherent, to this commission, this process, that we reopen the landmarking process at some point. This, I know, would kind of expedite things in that we would be able to open the process later this month. If the commission needs more time for discussion and consideration, this is something we can also look to revisit at September's hearing. But I leave it at your discretion.
Is the goal to vote then?
Sorry?
Is the goal to vote on it then?
Well, you can vote on it now with a contingency that that the nomination process reopen once council adopts the schedule of fees, in which case it would likely reopen later this week. Or you can wait until council has acted, and then we can revisit this in September. It's at your discretion.
What do you recommend? Well, I mean, would it be...
I appreciate that, yes. Yes, I think our Director Spry would like to comment, so I yield the floor to her.
Just a quick comment on the application reopening. Over the last couple of weeks, with Matthew coming on as historic preservation planner, I feel that he's set a bit of a standard at City Hall in terms of process. We have now a true, transparent, and clear process for the historic resource protection application. Not only that, but at each step of the way, Matthew has made himself available to our community. So if they have questions, if they need guidance or assistance throughout this process, he is there. And that is his job, to hold, help when needed, and if possible, through the application process. So I'm actually using some of the forms and steps that he's taken for this application, and using that as a standard for some of the other things that we're working on within the department. So I'm very confident that we have everything in place. Obviously, as we reopen the application, we will have, I'm sure, things that we'll want to change along the way, but I'm confident that we have a very clear process in place and one that provides some technical assistance and offers help to our community. So just wanted to mention that to you. It's been a process internally to vet through these policies, as FAQs, the application, a digital application that hopefully will be available, and really mindful of each step as we reopen. So,
Okay.
May I ask another question?
Of course.
This is just for nominating, just for the landmark nominations. We would reopen that, but it's not for funding.
Could you clarify what you mean by funding?
Well, before people made applications for funding to assist them in, and we kind of put a moratorium on that as well. So I'm asking, is this an incremental process?
That's an excellent question. This is exclusively for the landmarking process.
Okay.
That's exclusively for that. That's
Yep.
fine. I just needed to, I just
No,
wanted to-
Yeah.
that's a great question.
Okay. Well, does anyone want to?
With Director Spry and Matthew had said, is there confidence to put forth a
Oh, yeah.
recommendation to put a motion on the table? Would anyone like to do that?
Yes, I will do that.
Okay, so do you want to read the full
I
motion?
move that we end the moratorium on accepting new landmark nominations contingent upon City Council's passage of the programmatic schedule of fees.
Do we have a second?
I would second that.
Second from Mr. Tannenbaum. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Yay. What I will do for us for our next hearing, I'll set aside some time on the agenda so we can review all the different steps of a nomination and your roles and responsibilities as commissioners in reviewing applications.
Okay.
So I know it's been a while, right? So we'll put some time to practice through so everyone's a lot more comfortable when we start seeing application processes come in. But thank you.
Sounds good.
Okay. The last item besides adjournment is the director's report.
the solicitor just informed me, Jason Check, Attorney Jason Check, that officially the applications could reopen this Friday because that would be the 20-day mark. So it's excellent. I just would like to mention really one thing at today's meeting and ask for your help. We will be holding an engagement day, if you will, for the Erie Outside Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Plan during Celebrate Erie. We plan to be at the Boston store all day from 12 to 5 with the consultants that are working on our 20-year park plan. During this time period, we're going to open the doors to all of our city residents, to our county residents, and to our visitors here in the city of Erie to participate in a day of asking, what do you want in your parks? What types of amenities do you want? What maybe types of things you used to do in storytelling? So there's going to be a series of different activities within the Boston store. One of the activities that we have planned is, and Matthew is helping us with that, is a storytelling component. We plan to have historic park pictures, possibly vintage postcards as well.
I think I have an old one of the zoos, like a really old one.
That would please pass it to Matthew because he's compiling all of these images and then sending them to the consultant this week. We have to finalize everything this week. We have a few really nice engagement activities and things to be looking at with our parks. What were some of the other, besides the storytelling, what was another part of that we talked about? I'm sorry.
I think perhaps most interesting to our commissioners is that we'll also have some historic park artifacts that we were able to obtain from Erie's past. So if for no other reason, you should come and see what we were able to find. But it's a very...
Park artifacts?
Did you get those big candy canes back?
No comment.
And when is
And
this?
where are they?
Yeah.
When is this?
This is August 16th,
August
Saturday,
16th.
August 16th, during Celebrate Erie in the Boston store from
Okay.
12 to 5 p.m. It's called Erie Outside, which is our 20-year parks, open space, and recreation plan. And this is one of many engagement pieces that we're doing for this plan, but this is one that we're hoping to really get a lot of foot traffic from not only our city
August 16th.
residents, but others that are outside city limits that do recreate in the city of Erie.
16th.
So I'm asking if possibly the HRC members could come at sometime during that 12 to 5 period. I know Matthew and my team will be there, but possibly to maybe even help with encouraging people who are visiting to tell their story about what they did in a park, 30 years ago, or what a park might have had that it doesn't have anymore, what maybe perhaps they'd like to see return. We certainly have we've made sure that all of our questions and all of our input, there is a component of historic component. So we're asking things about landmarking. We're asking things about possible return of certain historical components or features in a park that maybe people would like to see come back, or maybe in some way showcase with signage or of that nature. Oftentimes, we don't even know why a park is named the way that it is. We don't know who it's named after. We don't know why it's named that way. So that component, that historic component, is infused in this engagement piece. So we hope that you might be able to join us, and if you are, maybe you could tell Matthew and maybe set a time slot in between, maybe an hour or two during that 12 to 5 period. We could use a couple extra set of hands. So if you could dedicate some time to that, I think you are the appropriate people to be part of this process.
And you'll be taking comments on all the parks in the city of Erie? You're taking input from everybody on all the parks?
So at this engagement
Yeah.
piece, it is really talking about destination parks, neighborhood parks, yes. But we also have another engagement activity that we will be working on after Celebrate Erie, where we're bringing essentially a toolkit to a neighborhood park or a destination. We'll station ourselves there for a couple hours, and we'll gather input specifically for that park. Because we have so many neighborhood parks in the city of Erie, we need to make sure that we're planning for those that use that park and in the surrounding neighborhood. So that is that's a different strategy to this project, and aside from the August 16th. But yes, that is very much part of it. And throughout the summer, we've been distributing our youth survey. I don't know if you've seen it. We haven't publicized it in the same way because it is specific to our youth, but we've been in the community schools, we've been at different venues and events throughout the city, tabling and stationing ourselves with our team, and asking our young generation to let us know what they want from our open spaces and our public spaces, and how can we meet those needs. So that's what we've been doing primarily over the last month and a half, and now we're moving into a bit of a different strategy with the Celebrate Erie and the site-specific engagement. So
Okay.
Here's a crazy addition. I know Barb Nitkowitz, Nitkowitz Park, which is like Second and Cascade, like where the walkway comes down and there's the big art project. There's like a little park there, and there's like a
Oh, yeah, yes.
a housing project right there, like right over the overlook.
Yes.
She's still alive. And she may well be the oldest person in America to be alive with CP. Like, she's in a wheelchair, but, I talk to her often, and there's a park named after her, and I think she's the longest, she had CP as a child, so I think she's the longest living person with CP ever. And she might be, there's a park named after her.
Would you mind letting
Sure.
her know and possibly directing?
We might need to do a lift thing with her and stuff like
Yeah.
that,
Well,
but-
next time you talk to her.
I'll call her.
Maybe you could let her know that the city is relooking at all of their
Yeah.
parks, and that we'd be happy to
Yeah,
come
she's a
out and
friend.
see her.
I
Sure,
stay in touch with her.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know which park you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's neat.
Okay,
She is
thank
so
you.
wonderful.
She's
If you're
neat.
interested, maybe you could talk to Matthew and come out and help us on the 16th. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Great, thanks, Jackie. Okay, that's a director's report, so we'll adjourn. Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I will motion to adjourn.
Mr. Tamla makes a motion to adjourn, and do we have a second?
So I will second.
We're just hitting 1,000 over here.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
2 o'clock,
great,
we're
thank you.
right on time.